Welcome to Mrs. Pete's Thrifty Living. I'm back with hashtag Thursday BookTube. This is hosted by our wonderful friends Patty over at Life with Patty and Daphne at My Mountain Home. Everyone in this awesome collaboration post. I'm doing something today that I have not done before. If you recall, I showed this book before, Out of the Fire. It was by A Life Radically Changed by David Hobbs. Yesterday, I got a note from one of my friends that I've known for years, and she said, David Hobbs called, asked if you would call him. She left a phone number, and I said, oh, is he going to be upset? Because I know how he found out that I reviewed his book. Well, so I get home and I call him, and he had gotten word through a mutual friend of ours that I had reviewed this book, and he was happy that I did it. I think he said he's 75 now, and he's almost totally blind. You know, his wife helps him around, and he lives up in Northern California. And he just wanted to talk, and he wanted to tell me he did write another book, but it's not on YouTube, and, you know, I'm not where I can send them out, but I want to tell you that he wrote another book, though, Walking in the Spirit. You know, he is a Christian, and then he started telling me about something that was in this book also. In his 9th year of writing this book, you know, it spans for 9 years, at least 9 years, and he was a firefighter. He went to college, and in his summers he fought fires in the forest of Northern California, I think Oregon too. I have this book out. I had it sitting on my couch thinking I'm gonna go back and read it, and I have not gotten to it yet. He started talking about this particular scene, and so I was just glancing at it, and I wanted, if you don't mind, I want to read a little bit about it. He went through some great transformations in his life. He was a partier. He went to college, and then in the San Francisco, you know, the drug scene, and how God had changed his heart and mind. He was driving his pickup on Highway 299 from Arcata to Redding in the late afternoon, and he noticed there was a thunderstorm brewing in the mountains somewhere past Weaverville. You may know some of these places. Thunder rumbled, and the first drops of rain fell, and before I reached Redding, a full storm was there. Okay, he said, I came out of the mountains into Redding, leaving the storm behind, and turned north on I-5. I figured it would be clear now, but as I re-entered the forested mountains around Shasta Lake, the storm resumed and even intensified. The rain was coming down all around him, bouncing on the road, and explosions of glycerine white droplets. Quite described it wonderfully. The sky grew so dark that the cars turned on their headlights. So it was very ominous at the time. And, you know, of course, they reduced their speed and all that. He said it's 100 miles from Redding to Wairika and a couple hours drive on a good day. That particular day, he said, I was shut into my own little world in the cab of the truck. The rain was beating all around me, and the windshield wipers was creaking and making its loud noises, it seems, driving through that gloom that had once been a beautiful sunny afternoon. He kept thinking he was going to get on to the other side of the storm, but it was lasting a long time. It was enforced in complete solitude in his pickup cab, and his thoughts turned to writing to women. He said, I had experienced intimate relationships with 3 women, and each relationship had been more destructive than the last one. I wasn't learning or growing from these relationships at all. He said he was just repeating the mistakes of the past in a greater way. He said, I'd spent years hoping that Linda would change course and come back to me. I spent months in Eureka waiting for Judy to show up. Now I was hoping for Suzanne to miraculously change from a free-spirited woman to a one-man stay-at-home partner. So he had quite a life before that time. Thinking of all that during the storm, he said, I'd spent 7 years going through college, and he had a bachelor's degree with 2 majors, but wasn't doing anything with them at that time. Remember, he made his money in the summer with the firefighting. The skies were just lighting up, and it says, I just wanted to change the world, to make a difference in people's life. You know, he'd already turned his life to the Lord, I guess, or trying to, or whatever. Been a while since I read the book. I'd started Linda off on drugs. That was during his drug days, which had launched her into a party lifestyle from which she never returned. I'd helped Linda find, beyond her husband, a transition so successful that other women who wanted to ditch their husbands looked to me for help. Suddenly there was a blast of lightning and a stupendous crash of thunderstorms. After driving through the thunderstorm for 2 solid hours, wow, all the miles had only brought me into a very heart of the storm. Wow. As suddenly as the lightning came, the vivid revelation of all my inadequacies and the failures of all my efforts, which had only brought me into the middle of the life storm. Okay. But with this revelation came a change. Simultaneously, I began to sing the old song, and I just sung it yesterday or the day before on my channel, is Just a Closer Walk with Thee. Alone in my pickup on that rainy dusk, not caring if the words were right. At the first tentatively and then belting it out, I sang to the top of my lungs, just a closer walk with Thee. Grant it, Jesus, this my plea. Daily walking close to Thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. I am weak, but Thou art strong. Remember, he's in the middle of a storm. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to Thee. And then he said it was going so well that I was pouring out my heart and soul. So he began making up verses, okay? So he improvised, okay? With a lump in his throat and tears in my eyes, I continued. I don't know whether I'm going to post this or not. Through the years of toil and snares, if I faltered, Lord, who cares? Who will be my burden share? None but Thee, dear Lord, none but Thee. I'm going to skip to the last one here. Through the years of toil and strife, I think this is one of them he made. Who will keep me from the knife? Who will lead me on to life? Only Thee, dear Lord, only Thee. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to put on here, but this, let me tell you, this is a good book, and I'm glad I got to talk to him. And if you get a chance and you come by this book, you can look online. You can probably find it used somewhere along the line. Snatch it up. You'll enjoy it. And I pray God will bless you today and know that Jesus is there for you. Okay, that's my sermon for the day, I guess, but you know, that's in my heart. So I pray God will bless you today. If you haven't taken the time and you would like, subscribe, comment, and share, check out the girls, the ones I've, Patty's and Daphne's channels, hashtag, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. But most of all, don't forget, Jesus loves you.